The views and opinions expressed by the Open Ranks podcast are that of the hosts and do not reflect the official policy or authority of the military. The content provided by the Open Ranks podcast is not intended to disrespect or offend any of our fellow service members, past or present, nor is it our intent to disrespect or offend any gender, race, religion, or sexual orientation. Please enjoy. Welcome back to a special edition of Open Ranks. This is episode 5, and I am your host, Henry Paul III, and I'm joined by Kaylin Postel. And today we have the honor of introducing our first female guest. We find it incredibly important that we get a chance to hear where our female constituents stand when it comes to their experiences in the uniform. We are always hoping to be a small part of the growing market where the female voice is acknowledged, respected, but most of all listened to. But before we get into any of that, Kaylin, my brother, how are you doing?
Why do you make it so hard to follow up behind you when you be talking? Because what am I supposed to say?
It's underwear. Like,
I'm doing fine, bro. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're all right. I just want to make sure everybody's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, before we get into the trenches, because we got Staff Sergeant Bailey here, which takes us all the way back to Charleston. This takes us all the way back to the defect, right? When we used to host these conversations with a bigger audience, or at least a bigger audience that we can interact with. So we had to come in right. We had to come in right. All right, Bailey, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I am doing good. It's a beautiful day in San Antonio. You know, I got the sun shining. You know, I'm good. I'm good.
Is it hot?
It's hot. It's warm, but you know, it get cool at night sometimes. So.
The most unfortunate time of the year. Like you start off with a coat first thing in the morning, and then be like, "Dang, well, I got this on." As you walking around, sweating, you need it again at night.
For real, yes.
Just, ready for it to make that transition. Yeah,
for real. Me too.
But we like to get this thing started the same way for everybody. Tell us your name, your hometown, and why you originally joined the military.
Cool. My name is Michaela Bailey. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I kind of originally joined the military because I wanted to go to college, and my mom was like, I ain't signing my name on no loans. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of your house, though. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this military thing out, see how it works out for me. And it worked out.
So there we go. It did work out. Where are you stationed at now?
I'm stationed in Herbertville, Florida. So about to make that transition to Brooksville, Florida, which is like near the Tampa area. So kind of in a weird in-between stage right now of, making moves, but in the same state. So.
Word. How excited are you for that?
I'm really excited. I feel like if the Air Force ain't do nothing, they got that right. I feel like for me, this next transition to recruiting is something that I'm passionate about. I look at the Air Force as an opportunity, and now I'm about to go and be able to give that same opportunity to other people, hopefully that looks like me, that I can impact, or people that might not even look like me, but can use this opportunity like I have. So
for sure,
I'm pretty excited about being a recruiter. It's personal for me. So
for sure, no, that's beautiful. It is an opportunity. We kind of touched on that in the first episode of the podcast when I had a lot of people asking like, what is the value of being Black in the military? Why would you want to join the military if you're Black? And not to disregard the history that has brought us up to this point, but there's nothing like having an opportunity, especially depending on where you come from and where your journey starts. It's nothing like having a chance. And the military, I think, gave us all a chance.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a beautiful thing. But see, you started off with all this beautiful stuff, and we got to embarrass you. We got to embarrass you for a hot second.
All right.
Yeah, what we usually like to do for everybody start coming on the show their first time, we like to ask, taking it back all the way to basic training, what was your best and worst memory that you're willing to share with us?
Oh, gosh. My best and worst memory, I guess one of my best memories is finding out I was on laundry duty. I was on laundry crew, so I ain't have to be there for all that yelling and shit. I got a lot of time away from them motherfuckers.
They was
So
definitely gone
that,
all the
that
time.
was one of my best moments. Like, yes, I don't have to be here for this. Um, One of my worst moments. So it's kind of embarrassing. I I was
Please don't
Is it
say it.
worse than wetting the
Please.
bed?
bruh,
Because
I
we
ain't
got a
even
running
finished
theme
now.
of
I ain't
people
pissed
wetting
on
the
myself
bed.
now.
Thank
Y'all
God.
got me
Yeah,
laughing.
whatever it is you got to say after that, I'm okay with as long as you didn't join the Pissy Boy Club.
No, no. But bruh, okay, so I found out in basic training that I was severely allergic to these damn San Antonio bugs. So one time I got bit by a bug and my hand swelled up like somebody blew in a glove.
Oh
And
my
I was trying to tell my MTI, but he would not listen to me. And so I was like, something's going on with my hand. He was yelling. He was kind of new.
God.
And he wasn't even a teacher for like, or the instructor for our flight. So he ain't trying to have no unruly class or nothing like that or unruly flight. So he just kind of like, shut up, da, 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 or whatever. And so it got to the point where I had to like go to him because my hand had swelling up like so bad. It was bad. It was like a glove, like somebody blew into a glove. And he freaked out. He was like, she needs to go to medical. And I was like, yeah, motherfucker, I tried to tell your ass that. Oh, that was just one time. So I thought after that, I got some medicine or whatever. And then I guess when I was sleeping, I got bit in the lip. Bruh,
Oh
that
no.
shit was
No.
horrible. Like I went into my NCR office the next morning and he just bust out laughing. I was like, motherfucker, okay.
Your lip was hanging like Professor Clump.
That thing was big. Yes. It was so big. And it's like you can see where the bug actually bit me. I was like, bro, this that bullshit right here. So
Damn.
basic was it was kind of funny. It was annoying, but it was kind of funny.
My
I'm
God.
trying to figure out what could have bit you that did you like that, because I don't remember there being a bug problem when I was there.
Whoa, boy,
What
that was
what time of year? What time of year did you go?
I went in August, so I was there from August
I
to
did too.
yeah, I was there from August to like what October or something.
Graduated at the end of October.
Yep.
Oh,
So
oh.
that shit, it was crazy.
So
I don't
you
remember
was
any
walking around.
bugs,
Nah, me
but I
neither.
was too concerned pissing myself. So I guess maybe that's why.
You was
Maybe
walking
that's
around.
why I didn't. I had a lot going on.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Probably with
goodness.
some repellent.
Lord.
Man, they had my dog walking around with Shrek hands and Dr. Clump face.
Bruh. But you know what? I was like, it is what it is. I was like,
Mhm.
shit, I ain't nothing I can do about it. Just go ahead and get my medicine. Let's go. So that was
Word. So moving on a little bit, you talking about what you're about to transition into, but what is it that you currently do now? You're currently FSC, and how have you felt about holding down the job that you've had for so long?
I'm a personnelist, so I'm a 3FO. Personnel is pretty much like HR, admin type stuff. Me personally, I like my job. Um, I don't know, like the way my mind set up, organization, helping people out, like the administrative type stuff, it's easy for me. I like it. I look at it as helping people, and I also just like the organization of it all. And it's like we don't know everything, but we know a lot of things to where it's an advantage to us. So
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
you definitely helped me out. Well, a few weeks ago when I called and I had a
yeah,
question about my damn retrain shit, and
yeah,
yeah, you figured that all out for me. Exactly what you said is how that's supposed to go. So I appreciate you on that.
yeah, no problem.
No, that's pretty dope. I mean, still an honor, at least for
Still an
that.
honor.
Still an honor, right? That's the perspective that Gotti and I have coming from jobs that are reliant or attached to the flight line. So
You
I'm sure you've
barely
heard.
qualify.
I mean, but I'm still there. Like
You
it's not
barely
like
qualify, brother.
Barely
it is.
qualified.
I'm dispatched to the flight line. That's why I said attached. I'm not on there permanently,
And
and
you know
I'm
what?
Uh,
happy for that. Yeah, I
This
ain't
is
trying to be out there in the ring.
this is where my job fits my personality. I'm gonna support you now. Y'all keep out there
Exactly.
doing that shit, and I'm gonna support you.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm not trying to be out there with you. You know what I'm saying? Call me when needed.
yeah, I get
uh,
this work together. There we go.
uh, so as the labor intensified individuals hate on me, it still gives us room to hate on you as you are fully in that noner life. What is something that's underappreciated about your job that you feel like no one knows about? Because you do work a really, really important job for a
Yeah,
lot
Yeah.
of important reasons.
yeah. I guess something that could be underappreciated is um the amount of work that I guess depending on where you are, like it's like the amount of tasks that we have to complete. Like people just feel like, oh, I got my issue and you need to process my issue. And it's like, yeah, you got your issue. Then I got to deal with James' issue and John issue and Sharita issue. So it's like
Right.
a lot of people don't understand that it's really a balancing act and it's never just one thing. Like it's always, okay, you got your issue in this specific, thing, but then I got to go over here and handle a whole different task. So you have to like it's never the same thing. It's never the
Yeah.
same thing. It's always different. So each customer have a different issue or different problem or whatnot. And some people can just be selfish in the sense of they feel like, their thing is the only thing when really
Yeah, I was just about to say that everybody think their problem is the most important problem in the world.
and it is important. It's important to them. And it's important to us too. But so is everybody else's stuff. So
Or
I mean
Right.
that's kind of that.
It almost makes me want to ask, because there's nuances to every job that go so far beyond your OJT or any type of like prepared training that you're offered, even like what you're doing right now in San Antonio, preparing for the recruiter job. Do you feel like tech school got you ready for the reality of your
Bruh,
everyday?
tech school, I felt like tech school was fun in a sense of like me, okay, bruh. I'm a personnel geek a little bit. So I enjoyed tech school. I enjoyed like the stuff we learned, but that shit ain't teach us nothing. They should have just sent us right to our base and was like, get this OJT.
yeah, because I'm
Okay.
trying to imagine what they could even show y'all like at that level.
They show us like systems. I mean, you kind of in class, like you in class, so they show you the systems and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. It's like they get us familiar with like some terms and stuff like that. It's honestly a waste of time.
Yeah.
But so that's tech school right there. But
I agree.
I feel the same way about mine.
Yeah, I full heartedly agree.
for real, dang, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody feel like that.
because
Um,
like the jobs that we do encompass so much. Like we have our specific jobs that we do, but there's so much shit that we do on top of all of that. There's no way. And then you do it differently at different places depending on what that job is required. So it's like you can't ever get a baseline knowledge of all this shit in the however many months it is that you're there. I think the only jobs that are
Yeah.
really really tech school is important is maybe like crew chiefs because they be in tech school for like a year
mhm.
Uh,
or something like that. So they're because they can't go into the field with without that baseline of knowledge and be able to work on those jets. You can send me out there and have me figure it out. You can figure it out as you're going. He can't do that with that jet.
exactly.
No,
Yeah, so
no.
it sounds like tech school is respectfully a waste of money.
Yeah.
In large parts, yeah. And I guess I had to ask, 'cause even as we're going through our lectures and stuff like that, it just does so little to like really prepare you for that transition of now
Mhm.
having to be responsible for the knowledge, but the nuances and the reality of the practical that a lot of our jobs entail.
Yeah.
Even like I said, as you're doing your training now for recruiting, I had to go back to Texas, Shepherd, to learn how to be an instructor. And we're sitting
Okay.
there learning the different ways on how to teach and learning styles, and all that stuff is really, really cool. But
Mhm.
the most exhausting part about teaching is dealing with 10 different people and having to prepare yourself
Mhm.
to interact with and be accountable for 10 different people. And this
Mhm.
student's problem matters more than that person's problem. So like the only thing that can really get you ready for that
To do it.
is doing it. It
Yeah.
is doing it. All that other
Yeah.
stuff kind of becomes secondary in some respects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was curious. I
I
was
I
curious.
mean, I do feel like right now with recruiter school, um, some people they kind of like, you always gonna have those people like, ugh, this. But
Hmm.
I actually do feel like this school is actually like beneficial
Mm.
because um it teaches you things, I guess. Like it's giving you like different scenarios, different things to think about with different students. Like it's teaching you sales, although I'm kind of starting to think that it's really like personality. Like if you just got that personality, then you ain't gotta sell nothing. And I honestly do feel like, yeah, so I honestly kind of feel like with my job right now, it's kind of helping me in recruiting
Mm-hmm.
because you got to convince motherfuckers sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, I appreciate this particular training, although I haven't been in it long. Like, I'm starting to appreciate it for what it is because I feel like that's what's up.
Well,
Like,
that's what I
I
was.
feel like it's actually beneficial.
Yeah, that's what I
Word.
was saying to you earlier. Like I
Mm.
could just tell, like I'm not the type of person that could take on that role. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of personality. You, however, it seems to be working out for you just fine. Because I ain't gonna get it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, Bailey has it. Bailey's got that magnetic personality. Uh, Even when I think about when we first met her, I wish everybody could, I wish we were at the point where we were doing YouTube videos so everybody could see how much she smiles. Bailey just
oh
has
gosh,
one of those
y'all.
Hey man.
magnetic personalities,
Hey,
and it's always worked.
it's
So
Yeah.
being in the recruiting space would be good. It'll be good for the airmen.
Imagine walking in her office at like
You know what I'm
17,
saying?
18, and
You're
she
gonna
just
feel a whole
smiling and
I
lot
shit.
better
already know,
about what you're
bruh.
doing.
You know what?
I
If
already know
everybody like this, I could do
set
this.
it up. I'm gonna have
100%.
coffee on. You need some tea. You need just sit down. Just I know. Let me. I know. Just come on. Like,
Yeah,
no, like I feel. Like I said, I feel like this the right thing for me. Like the right thing
yeah,
for just my personality. Honestly.
yeah. And because you got to sell the airmen, but you also got to sell whoever it is that's primary caretaker that's bringing them into their
It's
office.
some parents that you got to get.
Hmm.
That you got to
Yeah.
sell.
Yep.
Because usually when people come into the office, like when we came into the office, we we came there. So if you here, I ain't really got to sell you much because you're already here. But
Mm-hmm.
them
Hmm.
parents, them motherfuckers, you're gonna have to sell them. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
for
was.
sure.
And I was like,
Because
girl,
they want
she
to
look,
know that their baby okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
or it's
For,
going to be okay, and kind of trying to anticipate what's next for them.
yeah,
So it's good to have a pleasant face in those spaces.
yeah.
But you've been to Charleston,
Mhm. Yep.
went to Fort Walton Beach, you
Yep.
headed to Tampa. You
Headed.
touched on it a little bit, but
Yeah.
in reality, what is the real deal? Like, what is this assignment really going to bring to you in comparison to everywhere else that you've been? Because we're
And,
here in Fort Walton Beach together,
yeah.
and
But you know what? Bruh, I say this all the time, and it might sound a little deep for a minute, but it ain't all that deep. I say this all the time. I felt like when I was in Charleston, I learned so much, and I felt like when it was time for me to go, like when I got them orders, I knew that that was a completion to like a cycle for me. I had learned so much, and all of that prepared me for Fort Walton Beach. And in this space, I had to grow so much, and I had to tap into like my assertiveness. I had to tap um into it was kind of like I came here. I was used to being in an MPS where I had base like I touched bases with everybody on the base, and I was
mhm,
placed in like a small unit to where I only dealt with like 50 people, and then it was pretty like I was one of maybe like five black people in the unit and the only black female. So it was kind of
mhm,
like it's totally different. And I was like, when I got here, I was pregnant and everything was so new. I was a newly staff sergeant, like everything was so new. And I feel like I've learned so much. And here I am, like now going to, my new base or whatever. And it's just like I'm thinking like I'm reflecting back on Charleston and I'm reflecting back on my time here and it's just like the lessons I've learned, I feel like everything has prepared me for this moment. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like I don't like I said, I've been reflecting myself. So it's kind of
mhm,
like I just feel like I'm prepared. Like I feel like it's the end. It's time for me to go. And I don't know, it just so happens to work out like I manifested at my 3-year mark that I was gonna leave this place. I wasn't gonna be here for no more than 4 years. I wrote that down and I stamped it. I delivered that. And when I got this assignment, I just knew that it was gonna be. So it's like now that I'm leaving, it's like I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just gotta
Right.
take everything that I've learned from all stages of, my career and take it with me and go be better, go be great again. So
mm.
I don't know. Like I said, I've been reflecting on this, and
No,
No,
I
that's
feel
good.
because
That's
I
beautiful.
do the same thing because I've been here so long and my time is I've been here. It'll be 4 years when I leave in June, and I'm more than ready to go.
yeah,
And I've had a lot of ups and downs here, but I could never say that I regret being here or it wasn't worthwhile. Because if I hadn't been here and dealt with the things that I dealt with personally and professionally, I wouldn't be who I am now and have all the tools that I have and be the person that I'm going to be after I move on. So I definitely feel you that on the reflectiveness and just everything leading up to the point to where I'm at now, and I can take all of these things and continue to live with what I have. So no, I feel you on that.
For sure. I know when we were in ALS. Is that right when you got those orders to come down here? Was that right
Yeah,
before?
it
And
was
you were
right when I was in. I think it was like I was. We was fresh in the ALS when I got them
right,
orders. Yeah,
right. But you
yeah,
was almost in the same headspace where you were like ready for a transition and
yeah.
an opportunity to transition came for you. And you kind of took that in stride.
Mhm.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So talking about moving forward and what we're doing in the future,
Mhm.
how much have you planned your future? I guess are you planning on doing 20 years, or you thinking about maybe getting out and doing something else in the near future, or not so near future?
Yeah. Um, honestly, at first I was like, 20 years and that's what I'm gonna do. But I kind of feel like it just depends on the opportunity at the time.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to set myself up. Like I feel like um I hate to say this because I like my military career. Like it's been opportunities for me, but I kind of feel like my life purpose is more than just being in the military. I feel
You,
like
you are not alone.
yeah. So, but I also feel like the military giving me all these great. No, the military isn't giving me. I'm taking what the
Okay.
military is giving me and turning it into opportunities. So I
Hmm.
kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel like, you know what? Wherever the wind blow me, I know I'm gonna go in the right direction. So I can't say if I'm gonna be here for 20, is that what I want to do? Yeah, it's what I
Mm-hmm.
want to do, but it's like wherever I'm gonna make that impact, whatever's gonna be good for me, basically. So yeah,
I'm right there with you. I always told myself if I do 10, I'm gonna probably go ahead and finish it out because I'm halfway done, and my dad would
yeah.
probably be upset if I didn't finish. But at the end of this assignment or my next assignment, that'll be 10 years. Unless
Hmm.
somebody got another job with a lot of money they want to pay me, I ain't got nowhere to go. So
Yeah, so yeah, I want to do 20, but we gonna see what's up. We gonna see what happens.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely it's given all of us a lot more than we had coming in, and to see all of us doing different things and using what was given to us in
Yeah,
so many different impactful ways is great to see.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I know my mindset's been it's been contract by contract, contract
Yeah.
by contract. Only, I didn't come in here entirely relying on this as the
Mhm.
way that I was going to provide for myself and now family. So contract by contract, situation by situation. I have been blessed though. I feel like I don't say that enough. This is obviously not an opportunity. This whole podcast space, all these conversations are not here to bash the military because
Mm-mm.
we've all been fortunate. Um,
Yeah.
all been
Yeah.
fortunate.
I didn't. I just thought about something because Henry just brought up with his family. Did that affect your thought processes on maybe staying in and staying out when you had your son?
Um, I felt like um it didn't really because I felt like, I've been setting myself up and putting myself in a position to where with or without the military, my son will be good and I'm gonna be good.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So it's kind of like I do everything I do now, I do think about him. So it's like more calculated and what I'm doing. Like I just bought a house and then I got orders. So it's like it kind of helped me out because now that's gonna be my rental property and I got another house and then that's gonna be a rental property. So that's kind of like I'm trying to set myself up outside the military to where
Hmm.
when the time came, you know, I got more than enough support financially to like take care of me and my son, whether that's going out and working in HR or whether that's relying on real estate or whatever it might be. So I do feel like I do think about I don't know, the decision to stay or not to stay, it's I'm not really thinking about my son in that aspect, I guess,
Hmm.
because I know that regardless, he gonna be taken care of,
Right.
and I got that. So
Right. You kind of touched on it a little bit. Depending, no matter how long we stay, eventually, our tenure in the military is going to end.
Yeah.
So after you get out, do you think you'll have? You kind of touched on a little bit, but do you have any interest on doing your current job, or maybe some semblance of whatever the mirror of that in the civilian world is of recruiting? Do you have any interest in doing that when you get out?
Um.
Or even human resource work because you're a personnelist.
So I felt like, yeah, I would like to do it, but the more that I evolve as a person, I recognize that this ain't it for me. I like doing it. I'm good at it, but it's something else out there for me, and this ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to resort to it to, like uh to make some money or something like that, I know I got it. But as far as like fulfillment and life purpose and stuff like that, I don't think that's it. So it's
I'm
like
with
I
you.
said, I'm good at it. Like I like it. I've excelled in it. So of course I always fall back on it if I need to. But I don't think that it's something I'm be actively like doing once I get out.
Or I do like for the most part, your whole attitude has been, I think everybody knows I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, but your whole attitude has been put me anywhere on this earth, I'm gonna triple my worth.
Period.
That's like the only thing I've been thinking about. Everything that you've been sharing about, how you're taking stronghold of your career and the
Mhm.
opportunities that's presented to you, you kind of not leaving nothing for chance.
Nah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So now we
Yeah.
brought your son into the equation. How has it been finding that balance between work life and your home life, especially when you're good at your job, you
Man.
care about your job, and you're
Shit.
passionate about what you're doing? What's that balance like?
Man, that's whoo, man. Um, you know, I'm gonna get a little emotional because it's not easy.
No.
My bad, y'all.
You know what I mean?
But
Go ahead.
Take your time. Take your time.
it's not easy because you got demands at home. I refuse to get an Air Force 100% and go home and not give my son 110% or 150%.
Mhm.
And then when I was in a relationship with his dad, I refused to leave him out too. But
Mhm.
the balance was hard because you give so much to yourself to everybody else and you don't give it, you neglect yourself. So um that's been really hard for me in the aspect where I really lost myself. Um, you know, being a rock star at work and being this mother to my son, like giving him more than what I give to work, and also trying to, hold it down, be supportive, and just do everything at home too. So it's been quite the struggle for a long time, and it took
Mhm.
me really prioritizing myself and focusing on me and understanding like, bro, at the end of the day, the only two people that's really important is me and my son.
Mm-hmm.
And because people will eventually tell you that you're not doing enough. But I
Yeah.
know my only obligation is to myself and then my son. Because when I take care of myself, I'm gonna take care of my son. And fuck, if I'm a kick ass like at work when I wasn't taking care of myself, I know that when I take care of myself, I'm gonna be an even better mother. And when I'm taking care of myself, I'm gonna be an even better supervisor, NCO, all of that. And it's been
Mhm.
proven. And it was like when I started prioritizing and taking care of myself, everything just everything else just fell in line. And it was like, damn, I can't believe that I even felt like I needed to not take care of myself before. So it's been quite the balance, but struggle to get that balance. But
Mhm.
now that I've been able to, take a step back and kind of put myself in a better position mentally and, focus on me a little bit, work through some things with myself, it's been amazing. It really has been amazing. It's like always number one, we just got to take care of ourselves. And I feel like as a
Mhm.
mother, um, and as a working mom, like moving forward, always I'm gonna keep that as a number one priority because I know if I take care of me, that balance gets a lot easier. And recognizing that I can't do everything. Like I
Big
dropped that.
facts.
Yeah.
I'm a strong black woman. I dropped that shit. So with that being said, I recognize like, you know what? I ain't about to scrub this house up and down tonight. We gonna sit here on the couch and
We
we
finna
might be eating fruit
chill.
snacks. Yeah, we might be
Yeah.
eating fruit snacks for dinner because guess what? You happy, I'm happy. I'm sitting here holding you. We spend that time together. Like ain't nothing else important right now. This is just me and you. Or recognizing, you know what? I'm gonna come back to this assignment tomorrow at work. Like I don't have to do this today.
Mhm.
All right, your emergency is not my emergency right now. Like we can handle this
Mhm.
tomorrow. I gotta go home to my baby. So it's like just taking that time or reaching out to my family and my friends, like, hey, I need a break. Like,
Yeah.
can y'all
Yeah.
help a sister out? Like, can somebody can we talk on the phone tonight? Like, I just need to talk. Or, being able to say, you know, calling his dad up, like, hey, bro, I need you to get your son. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that thing too, like setting those boundaries and prioritizing myself, but also being who I need to be for, my son and in my career. And that's it. So it took me a minute to get here, but now that I'm here, it's no going back.
Right. No, it's a hell of a. I got two things. One, Deja and I just had our first son,
Yeah.
and I, I have never. I remember at one point, probably right after he was born, maybe around December time frame, I have finally realized that anytime I had mentioned that I was tired before, I was lying.
Yes.
I was lying. I
Yeah.
wasn't telling the truth. I had used the word tired before. I have made reference that I was exhausted. I have lied a lot.
Hmm.
This is real exhaustion. You go to work all day, you're trying to give of yourself, you're trying to be that star player.
Yes.
Then you come home and you got to do the same thing twice as hard because it matters more here. But you've
Yes.
already spent 8 hours trying to do it elsewhere.
Hmm.
That transition from being children, right? And that's just where I classify any young adult. Anywhere 18 to like 22, you pretty much a child still, right?
Yeah.
You a
Yeah.
child adult figuring things out. You transition from that to being in love, right? Or having that experience where you're now commingling to the point where a child is able to be created.
Yeah.
But now those are two adults that are accountable to each other
Yeah.
and have to like hold each other accountable, and that's new. And then you add being a parent on top of that. All of that is a transition of no comparison. Um,
Yes.
and we share quotes about leadership to advertise episode 4 where we're talking about leadership. And I
Mhm.
was torn between the quote that I shared and this other one where this person said that becoming a leader is synonymous with becoming yourself. And that's it. It's precisely that simple,
Oh
but it
my
is
God.
also that difficult.
Yes.
And as you were talking about trying to find that balance and figure out where you were outside of work so that you could be better at work while still trying to be a parent,
Mhm.
that is that process. And I think we've all worked for people whose home life was abysmal. And that might have had a negative effect on how we were able to interact with that person as well. So you can only
Yeah.
imagine what their children were going through. So it's
Exactly.
tough. It's
Yep.
tough for sure.
Yeah. Like you said something like for real right there. And that was another thing too. Also coming to work, like I had to I always told myself like I wasn't gonna like I wasn't gonna bring home to work
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
work to home because I also had a troop. And I was new to being a mom. I was also new to being a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, like, no shit, felt like at sometimes that was also my child. And not saying
Oh
that
yeah.
he was not a bad troop at all, but he came from a sheltered life going out to the military, and I was responsible for not only my birth son's life, but my troop too, in a sense. And there was times where I had to be nurturing to him, and I had to be, like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
get shit together to him too. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like finding that balance. I knew that I couldn't mix the two. Like I had to find some type of something there. But like I said, I ended up neglecting myself in the process, and I'm not doing that no more. We just gonna have to somebody, I ain't doing it no more.
Yeah. Now I sit and I listen to y'all, and obviously I don't have any children. I'm not married yet, so I don't have those outside of me attachments to other people in my life other than my family, and my friends. But I still, I listen and I learn from y'all because y'all, obviously y'all are the blueprint for me right now. Whenever I do get to that point that I have those responsibilities, but I think I ain't never once I leave. I always say once I leave work, that's it. I'm off
Period.
work.
Yep.
Leave me alone. I
Yep.
don't care unless obviously with my job it gets a little interesting because we have to come in and stuff like that after hours. So you kind of gotta, keep your head on the swivel in that sense. But if I know that's not a worry of mine, I be forgetting. I brain dump everything, and then when I walk back in the building, I'll switch back on. All right, it's time to get to work. It's time to do what we need to do. But
Yeah.
I definitely echo that sentiment. Like keep my work life and my personal life are completely separate. I will not ever want those two things to meld together.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And that's one thing. You know what? You talk about the difference between work life, personal life. All of us having PCS for the first time, that's something that I didn't realize. Because like I'm somebody who I pride myself on kind of being private. I don't say it often because I feel like
Mhm.
if you say you're a private person but you still share, you're a hypocrite. But in real life, I'm private. Like if you follow
Yeah.
me, I don't post for like years at a time.
Nah.
But I didn't realize that choosing isolation and privacy was so much different than being forced into it. Because when I was in Charleston, I had all of y'all. And then when we PCS, I had nobody. I didn't realize how much y'all were helping me find that balance between work and personal life. When everybody's on the same base and you know everybody, I mean, there's times I'll call a guy and be like, what you doing? I'm gonna go sit out in the parking lot and kick it with him. I got a slow day today. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like all of those
Yeah.
things kept my work life
Mhm.
and personal life balanced. So
Mhm.
coming down here, and there's not a lot of black people in the city.
No.
A lot of Trump flags. Um,
A lot of
so
them.
a lot of Trump flags. So, being thrown into this space when I were both new parents, both new supervisors, or at least at a
Yes.
different
Oh my God.
capacity, but
Mhm.
lonely. I was like, oh, I don't have no balance. I don't have no work personal life balance. It's like literally all
Same.
work.
Yes. That
It was
that that
literally
was
all
hard.
work.
That was real hard. Um, like I said, like me and my son dad, we came down here. I was pregnant. Um, I was just really hormones in women. It's just weird. I was really
Hmm.
depressed when I was pregnant. Like I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was supposed to be the happiest moment, in that space. Like so much good things were happening, but I was depressed. And then that trickled over into postpartum depression, and then that trickled over to self-neglect. And I learned that that was just my way of trying to like to deal. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, like not having, like you said, being forced into isolation because you didn't know nobody. And
Hmm.
I was pregnant when I got here. It was a very complicated pregnancy, so I
Yeah,
wasn't out all the time. Like I went on bed rest. I went into preterm labor. It was just so much stuff that rolled into that. And I feel like me and my son, dad, we tried the best that we could,
for sure.
to be there for one another. But that shit is rough.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is rough. Like
I
it's rough.
I feel you on the loneliness. So imagine, going
Hell
to a
yeah.
completely different country. You know
Oh
what I
shit.
mean? Like
Yeah.
I was over here the first 6 months. I was super depressed,
Shit is hard.
and then it was even harder because I couldn't, talk to nobody when I want to talk to them because it's like, either a 5 or 6 hour difference between my friends and my family. So when I'm up and I'm about and I'm working, everybody's sleep, and then when I'm sleep, everybody's up, and trying to find the balance of when I can talk to people that I actually care about was hard. Eventually I got in a relationship, not to take the place of loneliness. It just kind of worked out that way, and that was cool for a while. And that's when I started to kind of also get my rhythm as far as talking to people back in the states. And I met more people, got some friends out here, but those first 6 to 8 months was like it was terrible. Like I didn't feel like I had anybody. And then the house that I lived in, it wasn't very homey. So like
Mhm.
in the house that you have now, if you comfortable where you live and you kind of move around in different spaces and you generally use the entirety of the house for whatever it is that you need. Wherever I moved in at, I didn't use nothing else but the bedroom. So
Mhm.
I would go to work and then go home and just sit in the room. And
In
that's
the
all I
room.
did for
Wow.
months. And didn't even
That's
realize that,
wow.
what kind of effect it was having on me at the time. But
Yeah.
thinking back on it now, like it was a really sad situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's crazy the stuff we take. I was like, damn, when I PCS and stuff like that, I was like, I personally took so much for granted in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, but you don't. It's like we don't know. We're trying to figure it out. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like I took those DFAT conversations for granted. I took seeing y'all
Yeah.
out there on the basketball court for granted. Like I
For
remember just
hours.
walking out.
Used to be
Yes,
out
I
there
remember
all
just
night.
walking outside. Like it was beautiful to me. It was like a beautiful thing because it's like, damn, I saw my brothers out here. Like even though I was pretty much sometimes to myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so nice to see that. I love that. I love seeing my brothers out there doing things that we would do in our own hoods, or in our own hometowns and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like you ain't even got to engage, but it was just a sight to see. And
Mm-hmm.
like hearing y'all talking to DFAC and like the laughs and just everything, like I missed that so much when I got away from it. And even when I was in it, I wouldn't say I took it for granted. I didn't know how much it meant to me.
Yeah.
For
So
real. For
it's
real.
like when I be seeing y'all on social media and stuff like that, and I'm loving pictures and shit, like that shit is real for me because I'm like, man, look at them. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's a beautiful thing to see. Like, look at my brothers out here. Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I try
So
to tell people about what we had in the dorms, and everybody, and don't get me wrong, everybody has romanticized um, feelings on like their early journey and all that kind of stuff. But I promise, I feel like I bet real money that like anybody who was around the dorms at that point could speak to it was really magical.
that
Like
shit
it
was
was it
magical.
was
Yeah.
really magical. From the
Yeah.
DFAT to the basketball court, the synergy to the parties, the whole night, and it
Yeah.
never looked like that again. Every time I went back
Yeah.
there, like to
Yeah.
set a room
Never.
up for a troop or whatever,
Yeah.
never was like that again. It was like the dorms had died once we had all left. And you do take that for granted. And it's just I don't know. It was just an interesting thing. 'Cause I knew for a fact that like I was a super strong person. I had never wrestled with depression before until we got down here. And
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
I'll take it one step further. When Gotti left, I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was
Damn.
that was that. They talking about the dinner?
yeah, I cried like a
Yeah.
baby when
Damn.
Gotti left.
Yeah,
That
we
shit
was
was
down
crazy.
bad.
And
Mm.
and we both. I mean, and it was like as soon as we looked, because he went around the table and he gave like these speeches on how much everybody meant to him. Um, and then we both turned to each other, and niggas just broke down. Niggas just
Oh
broke down
man, that's that
crying.
love, man.
You know what I'm
Damn.
Yo.
saying? We just
That's
broke
that
down
romance
crying.
right there.
And
Mm.
then when he left, I couldn't bring myself to call him and stuff all the time because it
Oh
was really irritating that he wasn't, like around. So you kind of like, it's like I kind of like try to move past the fact that he was gone. I wasn't happy with the fact that he was gone.
man.
And then when we got down here, and granted, this is in no comparison to the reality of like being overseas. When I got down here and realized how alone we were, I tried to call him even more because
Yeah.
I realized like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is absolutely insane. And almost felt bad that we had almost I could say like left him hanging in that regard because nobody really you don't know what it's like to do that until you do it, especially if you don't go somewhere that's like dope. Like if you PCS to like DC or like just like a city that matches your aesthetic is cool. When you go places that's like
Yeah.
not,
I,
what I'm saying,
I,
your neck of the
I can tell
woods,
you, England is not. It does
yeah,
not
like
personify who I am as a person whatsoever.
Yeah.
right, it's tough. And then you add pregnancy to that and the complications of pregnancy that that nobody. How bad of a job do these movies and these commercials do at depicting the reality of what pregnancy can be? Because it's
But that shit
different
is horrible.
for
Like
everybody.
it's different for everybody, and because it was different for everybody, I felt like that's why I struggled so badly. I was very hard on myself. Like I remember being 4 months pregnant, trying to go sprint because I was like, no, I need to be working out. I
Yeah,
got to make sure
Hmm.
that I look like this. Like, I need to be
yeah,
happy. I was really kicking myself because I was like, it's supposed to be the happiest moment. And it ain't like the movies. And
no,
it's like having my partner at the time not understand me, like just thinking that,
hmm
oh, you don't care about me. And it's like, no, I care about you a lot. But it's like, trying to have him understand, like, no, it's not you. It's really me. But then not understanding myself, bro. They don't explain pregnancy like they should. Which
no.
and like you said, coming here, well, going to Fort Walton, it's that shit is different.
Mm.
So I can only imagine how it was for y'all too. So that shit, it's
No, I
hard.
couldn't imagine dealing what I was dealing with the added stresses of either being pregnant or having a wife that was pregnant and going
Mm-hmm.
through that with somebody together. So I think we've always definitely put into situations that none of us had any idea
Nobody was ready for that.
how impactful it
Nobody
was
was
going to be.
fucking ready for this shit, bro. Who
Mm-mm.
told the Air Force to give us fucking orders and shit?
Right.
Like,
And then
Right,
the
right.
stupid part about it, I asked to go here. Like I had to put this
I
on my list of
volunteered.
things to do.
Yep. I applied to come take this position.
yes, but you know what?
Um,
You also find all of them hard times. Like, um, it's been hard here. I learned some hard lessons, but I learned some great lessons at the same.
mhm.
I'm going to be a recruiter with just me and my son, so that's a whole reality I have to accept right now. But it's like looking back on those times, the things I've been through. It's a blessing
Yeah.
because it grew me as a person, and I recognize like to have grace to myself, to have grace to
Mhm.
other people, to be able to truly empathize with people because that shit is hard. Like PCSing and stuff, it's hard, especially when you don't have that support system that you used to have. It's real hard. So
It's
it's like,
impossible, man.
and
And I took for granted, you know what I took for granted, man, was it is like if you PCS by yourself, that shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? And it's not any easier.
then,
But when you PCS with a partner, you PCS with a partner, I PCS with a partner,
yeah,
everything that I was going through, whether it was the lonely, the depression, the
hmm,
like having to ask myself, like, why do I not feel like myself? What is going on? Like
yeah,
everything that I was going through for myself, Deja was going through too. Cause now she's
hmm,
far removed from her homegirls. She's even
yep,
further away from her hometown.
yep,
And so now we sitting in this house sad. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to
yeah,
and trying to like figure out a way not to project the fact that we both are
yes, yep,
miserable.
hmm,
And some people have relationships where they're like, I don't know, like lovey-dovey. I can't wait to hope. But that's not how we were. We both had friends. We both had lives. So like we were just sitting
yeah,
here
yeah.
fuming.
Y'all was out of
Um,
y'all mix,
we was out
out of
completely.
the mix.
I'm
Yeah,
like, you don't laugh at my jokes. I'm like, no, I never found you that funny. That's what Gotti's for. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to have balance.
yeah,
Okay, now I got to play all these roles. That's what friends are for.
but
Like the memes. Send the
yeah,
memes to
bruh,
Jalen. Where's Jalen?
that is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
so funny.
It was
Yes.
chaotic.
Yes.
Oh
Oh my
man.
It
God.
was
Yes.
chaotic.
It is
Um,
chaotic. It is chaotic. It is like you just kind of gotta find a way
yeah, for
to
sure.
restore some of that balance. Like, you know,
Yeah.
whether that's FaceTime dates with your friends, going to visit your friends,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, like it's like you gotta learn how to restore that balance. And a lot of truth is you learn a lot of truth about yourself and sometimes your partner during that time too. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't
No.
nothing wrong with that at all. Like,
No, I very much value all the time I have spent over here by myself because I feel like I do truly know and understand who I am and what I want out of
yes,
life and what gets
yes,
me going and
yeah,
what I don't like out of life.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Love that. Yeah.
for sure.
so kind of switching gears a little bit. What were some obstacles that made you feel, or that you felt like you faced as a black woman in the military, or any struggles that you might have encountered in general along this journey that you've been on the last what? How long you been in? 8 years? 9?
Yep. 8 years.
Yeah.
Um, whew, man.
Can I touch your
Uh,
hair?
bruh, bruh, can you touch my fucking hair? All right, I'm gonna just have to put this out there. For anybody that's asking black women in 2021, can you touch our hair? No, the fuck you cannot. Like, don't touch our fucking hair. We not no fucking dogs, yo. So that's how I feel about that. Cause that's the one that you get no matter where you are. And it's like, bro, I ain't asking you can I touch your hair? No, the fuck you cannot touch my hair. So
Right.
just to put that out there for everybody
Shout out
who trying to
Solange.
asking folks that, yeah, like no, because it's still happening. Like the shit is still happening, and so I feel like that's the one thing. And I feel like also, like I feel like when I kind of got in the military, like anybody else, it's a learning experience. Like it's different. Like you got a lot to learn, but I also felt like oftentimes I was trying to be toned down in who I am. Now, granted, sometimes I would be, saying stuff, and it was a better way to say that. But
Mm-hmm.
when I got in the military, and it was some I hate to say this, but sometimes the black women are the worst because they can be so in the personnel world. I don't know about everywhere else, but in our career field, I felt like you either find black women who really support you and care about you, or you find ones that want to nitpick the shit out of you. And it just
Mm.
seems like there is no um it just don't seem like there's a reason why. So I was natural, like I'm all, like I'm natural now. But I had a lot of hair, and I had this one master sergeant. She used to bother me so much about my hair, about everything, about the I had a Coach wallet. It was just a regular little Coach wallet in Regs or whatever. You can't wear that because it's Coach. It got a Coach symbol on it. Okay, I get rid of my Coach wallet. Guess what she come to work with? A Coach wallet.
Oh
So my
no.
your ponytail is too big. It's my natural hair though. Like I can't control how my hair grow out my head. A black woman. So, all right, I go and cut all of my hair off because I just got tired of her constantly like bothering me. And it was
Mm.
just like you're trying to tone me down, but you're also being hypocritical because then you went natural. And then you
Right.
saw my struggle. And then
That's
like so it's kind of like I felt like I was being toned down in a lot of ways, whether it was from my hair to the things are like I had, or the you can't you can't be like this, or you need to respond this way, and it's like, no, I'm not going to take disrespect. Now I understand you have a higher rank, but there's also a respect thing that it seems like you have a problem with, and I'm
mm-hmm.
not gonna do that. And that's been like my whole career, having to stand up for myself for real. And it's like, it's been rough, but it is what it is because I'm unapologetically who I am. So that's been kind of hard. And it's like standing up for yourself, like having that confidence to stand up for yourself. Because when I was in Charleston, I was fortunate to be around a lot of black people. Um and
I
I
took
love that.
I took that for granted a lot.
I
I
love that
sorry to
shit.
cut you off, but I took that shit so much for granted when we was in Charleston. There was so many black people around, and I didn't understand how rare that was.
Yes, super rare. Because when I got here, it was completely different. In my first unit here, it was pretty cool. Like everybody was respectful. I never felt like, oh, I was a black woman in the military. But my
Mm.
second unit, the first day I got there, the shit was, oh, so do you have hair up under your weave? And like, bro, what? Like, how do you wash your hair? Like, you got weave, how do you wash your hair? Or I assume that all black women who wear weave or wigs don't have no hair up under it because yeah, like he just came out and
Oh,
he didn't
he was
see
getting
nothing.
off.
He didn't see nothing. That's it. He was getting off. And he didn't see nothing wrong with what he was saying. So I had to eventually have a conversation with a captain and my master sergeant supervisor because it was an instance where my master sergeant supervisor did not stand up for me and I didn't appreciate that. So now I got to approach you and this captain because we got to set some straight. And
Mm-hmm.
it took a while for me to do that because I had to do it in a way where I wasn't emotional because then I'm an angry black woman. And then I had to do it in a way where you need to understand what you're not going to do is disrespect me, and you're not going to disrespect the women behind me or the girls behind me or none of that. So it's like I had to set the tone for that for him and anybody else because it's like, bro, that's not fair. That's not how we do that. So that was
Mm-mm.
like, and that was recent. It was like I got there in July, and it took me like a couple months to address that issue because I had to like rid myself of those emotions. But during that time, he just kept tagging stuff on, and I felt like he'll never understand how disrespectful and just how entitled he was doing that. I can't explain to you why what you did was wrong if you don't see why what you did was wrong and all you do is justify it. Well, I don't see a lot of black people, or I just saw an opportunity to I'm working. No, 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 we're not gonna
Yeah.
do that. That's
It's a
not how we
time and a place, and it's a way to do
time and place.
everything.
It's the way.
And I'm
So
more shocked that you saying this is so recent, given the times that we in right now, to where you would think people if they at least don't always agree, they're a little bit more careful and calculated in what it is they choose to do and say
Mm,
when it comes to
yeah,
race. So that's really weird to me.
I was shocked because it was the captain. I'm like, bro, why are you doing that?
God damn.
I was shocked then because it's like now I feel uncomfortable because it's like, okay, I'm lower ranking than you by a lot. And at this point, it's personal disrespect. I'm gonna have to let you know that ain't it. And
Hmm.
I I feel like that moment was so powerful for me as a black woman because one thing he gonna never do again is that. So it's just like, and after that, it was cool. I ain't have those issues no more. I stood up for myself. I was unapologetically who I am, despite
Mm-hmm.
feeling like my whole, I feel like my whole 3 to 4 years in the military was trying to tone me down and trying to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
change me into somebody that I wasn't. And I feel like my success only came when I confidently stood in who the fuck I was. And I wasn't
Yeah.
allowing nobody to take that away from me.
Yeah.
So I felt like I said, every lesson you learn throughout your career prepares you for a moment. And I felt like all the lessons I learned early in my career prepared me for that moment to be able to stand up to my supervisor, let him know where he had failed me, and to also stand up to this captain to let him know, yo, that's not okay. Like it's a time and it's a way that you can ask a
Yeah.
question
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know me from nothing. So you really don't ask a person you don't know that. You got a black major here, you got a black captain here. You can go and talk to them if you really wanted to, but you didn't. You saw opportunity and you felt like I was the weaker link of them and you decided to prey on me. But correction, no, we're not gonna do that.
Sure.
For
So
sure.
it's been being a black woman in the military is interesting, but at the same time, it's like I'm happy that it's me because I'm gonna stand up for what the fuck I believe, and I'm gonna stay true to who I
Mm-hmm.
am. Period.
Yeah.
So that's just it. Like I don't have too many problems because I'm authentic, and it's like you already know how you're not coming at me.
Right.
So that was like my first real issue that I had in that unit, and like I said, he started it day one.
Right.
So
Well, at least he didn't wait to show his true colors, I guess.
hopefully he didn't. I'm happy he didn't. We put a stop to that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely agree with like how like 1,000% everything you said, especially with taking for granted how because people talk about Charleston all the time. Like my family members, they be like, "Oh, but Charleston was so white. Like, how would you? Why do you say you like Charleston in comparison?" I'm like,
It
my
was,
experience was black. Like
yeah,
everybody, the base was a lot blacker than you think. It was black people everywhere.
everywhere.
Uh, I mean, shout out to Antoine. He worked across the hall from me. He was from the crib. Like it was, I was comfortable, like in
Yeah.
ways that I couldn't imagine. PCS in here, I was
Mm,
incredibly uncomfortable in every way imaginable.
yep.
And having to stand up for yourself and things of that nature. And I'm glad you've taken the opportunity to do that because it's one thing that I feel like women, but black women especially, aren't celebrated for and often criticized for is when they do vocalize their concerns or choose to step up and stand out. Then it's, oh, you got an attitude. Then it's, oh, you're negative. But if I do it and I do it a lot, that person that had to receive it might not be happy, but everybody that had to watch is like, oh, you a real one. Oh, bravo, bravo, you stood up for whatever, whatever.
Mhm,
But if a woman does that same thing, now she's outside of the box that she plays in.
mhm.
And I hate that because I feel like that's the double-edged sword that nobody really
Misogyny.
wants to be on the other side of. Misogyny.
Misogyny. Yes.
It's misogyny. But what are
Yeah,
some of the great things
yeah.
about being a black woman, you think?
I
Especially
feel
right now in
like
this climate.
I feel like you mean a black woman in the military or
Well,
just
in general, because you a black woman everywhere you go.
period. I wake up black, go to sleep black.
Hmm.
So I mean, shit. You asked me, it's the best thing in the world. I don't want to be nothing else.
For sure.
So it's just I feel like um I love to see a lot of black women just walking in their power, walking in their
Yeah.
confidence, like understanding that, everything about you is beautiful, girl. Like your hair, your nose, your eyes, your lips, like all of that, your skin, no matter how light you are, how dark you are, everything about you is beautiful. And that's it. And can't nobody take that away from you. Like I feel like being a black woman in this day and age, I feel confident. I feel confident in myself. I feel confident in being different. I feel confident in being the same. Like I just feel confident in my skin. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we didn't grow up feeling that way all the time, you know?
No.
Did
And
not.
y'all can relate to that too as black men. It's like you don't grow up feeling that way. But I just feel like, and I don't know, this might sound weird, but I just feel like everywhere I go, I command the attention. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am confidently black. Because I am
Mm-hmm.
bold and I'm not loud about it. I just walk in. And I know that you're gonna respect me because I'm not gonna accept anything less than that. And what you're gonna do is remember me for being, wow, she was really kind and she was really nice, but it was something powerful about her. And that's just
Mm-hmm.
my aura. That's just me. So
Yeah,
it's
that's what we was
like,
talking about earlier. You act like you didn't know what we was talking about.
nah,
It's
I
all of
feel
that. It's your
Yeah.
essence.
it's
You
humble.
Yeah.
about to
It's
really
like
blow
Yeah.
it's
up.
I don't know. It's just like I'm just now starting to really tap into who I am, like to understand my power that I possess as a woman. And it's not loud. It's not, although I'm saying it's confident and it's bold, when you look at me, it's not confidently and it's not bold. It's not like written on my forehead,
Yeah.
but it's
Not
within me.
arrogant.
It's
Yeah.
not arrogant. It's just
Mm-hmm.
within me. And I love that about myself. It's the softness.
No, and it's funny you say that because I see so many parallels in all the lives that we're living. Because I think Henry, I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, we was talking about just how where we're at now, and I've never felt more confident and comfortable with
Oh yeah.
myself than I ever
Yeah.
have. And it's I just put a picture up. I think it was yesterday, and that was the caption: "Comfortable and confident." So
Yes.
I 100% feel you. Like I've
And
never
I
felt
love it.
yeah
Yes.
better about myself than I ever have. Not in an arrogant way, but I am truly comfortable and I'm confident in myself.
Exactly. And it shows. You ain't even got to
Yeah.
say nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to say nothing about it. Like, looking at y'all, it's like y'all are, it's like y'all are the same, but different. And it's like, it's just a beautiful thing because I
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's just like seeing pictures from people who we were stationed with, and it's just seeing everybody like grow into themselves in
Yeah.
not an arrogant way, but a beautiful way. And I love
Mm-hmm.
that shit
We was
because
babies back in the day.
we were babies, and look at us now. Like we doing great things out here.
Yeah. We
So
was
it's
babies.
just amazing. It's beautiful because it's like all this black excellence, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like real. It's us. Like we are
Yeah.
it. Like I love it. It's just beautiful.
Right.
So
And it's beautiful that we say it because obviously the goal is like the whole goal of this podcast is for everybody to hear everything that's being said. Because like I said, it's like you think about the military, there is a one image that pops up. It, like I said, it's
yeah,
Captain America, it's Steve Rogers. It's a white male in uniform. That is the understanding aesthetically that is visually associated with the military presence. But we're here, we loud and we're proud.
yeah,
And this is a space where we can kind of celebrate ourselves. 'Cause like, unfortunately, our family and friends from back home, like, they don't really know or see what it is that we're really doing. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah.
can't necessarily speak to the reality of
Mhm.
the things that we've been able to accomplish. So like this is one of those safe spaces where people can kind of like tap in and like close all the gaps that have been growing
Yeah, for
wider and
real.
wider all of the years that we've been gone away from the crib.
Yeah.
So now this is special, and black women are special, especially with
And black men are special. Hell, we all special, and I love that
for
shit.
sure,
Hey, it's
for
going
sure.
up.
Yeah,
I
it's
love that
going
shit.
way up. Because even what y'all did with this past election,
Yeah, it's
that wasn't small.
I don't think like people understand how powerful like black women are, honestly.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like sometimes I be like I recently had a conversation with a guy and he was just talking about like his partner kind of. And I was like, but you kind of talking badly about her, but what about her strengths? Like, take a moment to celebrate, her strengths and who she is as a person. And then
Hmm.
you get that reflection going. And I was like, you see that? You see how you glorifying her strengths and then the bad stuff in her seems to be small because everything you're not, she is, and you see that balance and you see what she brings to your life. Like, bridge that gap. It's so easy for us to focus on the negative in somebody, but it's different when it's a black man and a black woman and y'all raised in a black family. Like, bruh, it's so easy for us to point out the bad, but when we celebrate each other's strengths, like I feel like, and I don't want it to sound weird when I say this, but it's like with the right black woman by your side, you going up, period.
In any space.
In any
way up.
way up. And I can't speak for Asian women. I can't speak for white women. I can't speak for them. I'm black.
Sure.
I only know what I see, and I only know the impact that black women make on me or have in spaces I'm in. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I do know a black power couple is a black ass power couple, and we burning it down. We burning it down all the way down. So with that being said, black women are fucking powerful, and black men are too. And when we come together, we do powerful fucking things. Like I'm okay with being single right now and being by myself, but I know my life will elevate when the right black king come in my life and we take this to another level. Because everything that the places where I'm weak, he's gonna be strong, and where he's weak, I'm gonna be strong, and we just gonna build each other up, and it's gonna be beautiful. So I don't know. I feel like it's a whole new level. Period.
Yeah. Put it on a t-shirt, man. Black women are fucking powerful.
Shit.
On the back,
Nah,
period.
hey, no, we're not doing no more t-shirts. I'm tired of the t-shirt business.
Okay. All right. Put it on a hat.
Shit,
Put it on a trucker hat.
Shirt. Shit, I'm gonna wear it on my chest. Like, bro, that's what it's gonna be.
No more put it on a keychain or something. I'm tired of all the t-shirts. I'm tired of the t-shirts.
I love t-shirts. No, but I feel you though. Everybody got a t-shirt for something.
Everybody got a t-shirt.
Gotta support your uncle, cousin. Like, bro, all y'all shirts $40. Like, that's a lot.
For real. And we're not even going nowhere right now. It's just shirts piling up.
Right, just t-shirts. I don't need no more Gildan t-shirts, bro. I'm sick of the Gildan t-shirts.
I'm like, my drawers can only carry so many of these damn shirts, bro. So many of them. So yeah.
So you kind of touched on it a little earlier, talking about getting yourself together and taking care of yourself, and you share a lot of it on Facebook as far as where your journey's at. But can you talk to us about right now where you at mentally, in a space where you're choosing yourself and prioritizing loving yourself, and how you got there?
Yeah. I recognized that when I started going to therapy, and I got a black therapist because that was important to me.
Fire.
Major key.
Huh?
Major key.
Major key.
That's fire.
I tried it with somebody before, and it was a 60-year-old white woman, and it was horrible. She didn't understand my strength. We had nothing in common. She was stuck in like the old days to where, you know, women was like, I don't know, an afterthought, I guess. And I felt like she made me feel bad for being strong and for being all these things that I was just born with. And that was just period. So, I mean, I got a black therapist, and I recognized like I just was neglecting myself so much and just caught up in depression for so long to the point where that was just how I operated. Like everybody saw a smile on my face, everybody saw me doing amazing things, but it was like I was killing myself at the same time. And my mental health really started to like I felt like I was losing my fucking mind. And that was just because like that was me. That was just me like having to elevate. Like you can't stay stuck in this place. So when I started to prioritize my mental health, when I started to understand my worth as a woman, when I started to understand like all the good things that I had going on in my life, when I started to understand how powerful I was, it was just like I can't go back. I had to face my own insecurities with my postpartum body. I had to face my own mistakes from my past that I had made. I had to face, you know, becoming a single parent, like, you know, losing my partner and understanding that I had to face all of those things. It was like I couldn't run away from it no more. And it was amazing. It's the most painful journey you'll ever have to be on, but it's so fucking satisfying in the end. It's like once you get your fucking power back, you can make it through any fucking thing. Anything. And like I said, it's emotional because like I call it my healing journey because you really have to like heal. You gotta face that shit. You gotta cry in a parking lot. You gotta fucking go through that anxiety in your chest because it's like you just have to go through that shit. And for me, I was the type of person where I just wanted everybody to be happy, like even if it was at my own expense. And when I had to prioritize my own happiness, it was like I didn't know how to do that. And it started with like my mom taking my son for a little bit just so, you know, we had a lot of stuff going on. So she missed him, like
Mm-hmm.
desperately, and her recognizing like, yo, you are not okay. Like you need to focus on yourself. And for me, that was a powerful fucking moment. It was scary, but it was powerful because it took me choosing joy every single day. It took
Mm-hmm.
me facing my demons every single day. It took me understanding that I might have to raise my son alone. It took me breaking down those barriers and going to therapy and really feeling this shit and crying it out and admitting when I'm weak and not feeling like I had to carry the load. So like I said, it's the most powerful and the most hurtful and the most terrifying journey I've had to be on. But I feel so amazing being on this journey. And it's like now I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I can make it through anything because I understand it's a mindset shift. It's understanding that I'm human. It's understanding that I don't have to have it all figured out. It's understanding that I make mistakes and that I have made mistakes and that I'm not perfect. And it's also extending forgiveness to other people and understanding where they are in their journey and meeting people where they
Mm-hmm.
are. So it's like, it's been beautiful. And I felt like I had to share it with the world or my audience. I had to get it
Yeah.
out there because there's so many people that's like coming to me and telling me just how inspiring my journey has been to them. And I feel like it makes me emotional because there are
Mm-hmm.
people who literally feel alone, who literally feel like there's nobody else. And it's like having those people come back and tell me how inspiring that is to them and having them go to not mental health, we call it mental health in the military, but
Yeah.
go to
Right. But the
therapy.
therapy.
Go and
Yeah.
Yeah,
go get that help.
yes. And having people like go to therapy and having people be okay with having a failed marriage or understanding that you know what I can be a better person for myself and I'll also be a better person for my partner, my soulmate, the person I'm destined
Mm-hmm.
to be with. Or having women feel like you know it's okay for me to be a single parent because it's all like everybody see you and this person together and you're happy and stuff and then all of a sudden you're not. So it's
Yeah.
like all of that shit is okay. You did the best you could. That person did the best they could. Hell, we're all doing the best we can do every single day, and that's fine. So it's like for me, this healing journey has been it's been so insightful, and I thought that it was just you know healing from my past and accepting things, and I don't know, like I realized that I don't know, like I kind of already talked to you about it, Pope, but a situation, that
Yeah.
happened when I got here to training and a
Yeah.
dude tried to sexually assault me. And I felt
Yeah.
like my healing journey, I felt like, I needed that for me in the place where I was then, not knowing that when I got here, I was going to have to channel that strength and I was going to have to, it was going to be put to test everything that I've been working so hard to build.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so fucking powerful because I am strong. It's
Yeah.
not breaking me down. It's not breaking me. Every day I wake up with the mindset to win. Every day I wake up with the mindset to move forward. Not saying that the situation is small, but I don't
You're
know.
big.
Yeah.
I'm big. I'm bigger. I'm
Big.
fucking
You're
bigger.
big.
Big
Fucking
You're
dog.
big.
compared to the mountains I've had to
Yeah.
move to fight myself, like to get out of depression, to make it through so much other stuff. So it's like my fucking healing journey has been magnificent for me. It's been powerful for me because that situation is nothing compared to having to face suicidal thoughts and having to want to
Mm-hmm.
kill yourself and like it's nothing. That person has no power over me because of the
Mm-hmm.
work that I've done in myself and I continue to do in myself. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It might be too much for some people, but this is my journey and this is how I've overcome and how I am continuously making it through. I
Nah,
don't
this
know.
is real. This is real life, man. This is real life.
Ooh-wee.
I think Like I say everything that you post, every paragraph that you write, I read it. I try to comment, try to offer some support, because it's valuable to see people being honest and transparent about the things that they're going through. Uh, I went to therapy pretty much every year growing up with my family. We went together and then we went like isolated counseling sessions. So therapy is like I have nothing negative to say about it. It's a beautiful thing. I need to go back. But the last time I went, I had a white therapist for the first time, and it wasn't any fun. And the reason why is I'm glad you mentioned it. Is because like when you go, obviously you go to speak with these people about the different things that you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
or even if it's not bad, just trying to get some understanding of life outside of your own professionally.
Yeah.
But you only have a small amount of time to do that most times. Like you have
Yeah.
sessions, right? You have an
Yep.
appointment, and there's a certain amount of time that you're able to be there. What is difficult about having white therapists is how much time you spend
Oh
explaining
man.
who you are,
Oh
right?
my
Because like
God. Yes.
there's a pocket of counseling that they can't offer you
Yes.
because black decision making, black experience, black community, all of that is very different from anything like what they've
Mm-hmm.
experienced. So
Mm-hmm.
they can't even meet you at your starting point of where you are in your life just because you're black. That means
Yep.
that they can absolutely not help you move forward.
Period.
You'll
Eh,
lose your
yeah.
whole first, you'll lose the whole, if you got an hour long session, you will lose 45 minutes navigating through the black side of the issue that you're going through and why
Yeah.
half of the shit that they're saying just doesn't even relate. And that
Exactly.
sucks.
It does
I'm
suck.
trying to I'm trying to think back because I remember when I was in the dorms, I was starting to go to I think that's what I don't know if it would be classified as therapy or not, but I was going to go talk to somebody, and it was like a older white lady, and she was cool, and I can remember, whatever it is I was going through at the time, she did help me through it,
Hmm.
but I can't remember how difficult it was, or if I felt like I was really, really, getting all the way through and getting everything that I needed. I can't say what she did provide was helpful,
Hmm.
but I can't imagine how much more helpful it could have been having that baseline of knowledge and context that y'all are speaking of. Recently, it was the lady over here that I was talking to. She was a little bit younger and she was mixed, but she was more so on the. I think she navigated more towards the white side of her family. It's just how it shook out for her.
Yeah.
So it was still some as we was talking, and I'm a lot older and a lot more mature now, so understanding what it is that I needed from her and kind of laying that to her and kind of bridging the gap wasn't as hard,
Hmm.
but I couldn't imagine trying to do that young when I was younger and I didn't have the knowledge that I had to be able to help myself properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I have people trying to correct my grammar. Like I'm trying to explain stuff and they're trying to correct my. I mean, even if you listen now, I go in between how
Yeah.
I should
It's
sound,
gonna
quote
it's gonna
unquote.
come out how it come out.
That's
Right.
it.
I had people busy doing that while I was trying to
Hmm.
explain what it was that was going on. So,
Yeah.
uh, no, having black therapists, black counselors help a lot. You shared a lot of powerful stuff just now. How are you doing with everything that's been going on?
I feel like I had to accept it. I had to
Yeah.
not be in denial and like not downplay the situation. So it
Yeah.
took a minute to it took like a couple of days to do that, like fighting night terrors, literally thinking that somebody's shaking, like coming in my room and
Yeah.
Mhm.
in my sleep, waking up feeling somebody touching me when nobody is there. And it's like accepting that shit, validating that shit within myself. Like you feeling that and it's okay. Waking myself up, calming myself down, like really having them thoughts like you are powerful. You are more powerful than your mind. You're safe right now. Like protecting
Mhm.
myself, like doing my meditation, doing my words of affirmation, like and actually believing that shit because knowing that I am powerful, that and leaning in on my support. Like I had to open up to my friends, I had to open up to my family, but like my mom really don't know how to respond to that kind of stuff. All
Yeah.
she
Mhm.
know is you safe, and she don't know how to deal with the afterthought of this stuff, and that's
Mhm.
fine because
It's a
that's
life
where she can
changing
meet
thing.
me at. Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she met me where she could, like to her understanding. So open up to more of my friends, like my military girlfriends and even my civilian friends, and them offering different support to me, just lifting me up, encouraging me, talking to me and stuff like that. And it's like I said, me just happened to channel everything that I've been going through these past like 4 or 5 months in therapy, and not just with a therapist, but also with a Black life coach. Like having those people
Uh-oh.
side by
That's
side
new.
who
Yeah.
are also, yeah, and they both are educated in like master degree level and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and doctors, you know. So
I've
it's
been
like,
looking for that for a long time.
yeah, like having, I just found the right one. It just so happened that we have a great relationship and it turned into a friendship. So it's like having those people by my side. Like I can't talk to my therapist right now. I'm not ready to talk to her about that. But what I
Mhm.
am ready to do is deal with what I can deal with. So when I get to her, it's a lot easier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like understanding that I do have the resources and the tools within myself to help myself. And also understand that, like I was telling you, I don't tell myself I'm a victim. I'm not
Mm-mm.
a victim. I made it through that shit. I survived that shit. I am strong. I am powerful. Like I refuse to keep a victim mentality because that's not who I am. I don't speak
Right.
things to myself that I'm not. So
You're a
I will say
conqueror.
I'm a conqueror, exactly. So when I say stuff, I am doing. Not I
Yeah.
will do or I should, I am. So it's like my words are powerful and I'm understanding that each and every day. So I feel like changing my mindset about the situation. This did happen, but I am not that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
You do not have my power. I am in control. And I am in control because here I am still in training and my class don't even know what the fuck happened. So
Right.
it's just
That's
like,
how she was in ALS too, bro. Like
period.
she was pregnant, going through stuff, and we'd be talking about it, and then people would be like, "Oh, why, where's she always at? Why is she participating? Why is she not at this study group, this, that, and the third?" And it was never my business to share, but I'm like, it's so crazy. We literally in the middle of the schoolhouse, dedicated to making sure that people are being better leaders, more thoughtful, more considerate. Like we're doing freaking case studies on how to be there for people better, and this is y'all, right?
Yeah.
And she was kind of going through it in those early stages,
Yeah.
but she wasn't really telling anybody. So shout out to you for everything that you are able to facilitate as you're navigating your journey. And you said something that's really important, and it's important because I actually just had this conversation with Kyra, a friend of mine. She'll be on the show shortly. When people are going through things that are difficult or uncommon, it is not easy for the people closest to you.
No.
Mm-mm.
But going to therapy, just make when you're asking people to go to therapy, be mindful of the fact that them getting better just so you can experience them better as they're going through some of the hardest stuff they've ever faced in their life is a lot more selfish than helpful. Because you can't go to
Yes.
therapy um, until you're ready to talk about
Mhm.
and are at some type of peace with whatever it is that's affecting you. Because otherwise, you'll be shut down to it. You'll be useful. Like
Yep.
you have to be in a space of being open. So people go through
Mhm.
different things, and it changes your life dramatically. But that's just my caution to everybody. Like, don't throw if you've never done it, don't throw go to therapy loosely because you're waiting for this person to be better for how you're
Wow.
experiencing them.
Wow.
Because
Yep.
you got to go into therapy ready to navigate them choppy waters, and it takes time for that sometimes. Because if I
Yeah.
can't talk about it, I can't heal what you don't
Exactly.
reveal. So if I can't
Yeah.
talk about it yet, I can't go. I
And
can't.
yeah. And we can't allow people to pressure us into it either. And like pressure you into there because some people like with my friends and I know they mean well, just like you should probably go to therapy like
Yeah.
for this. And it's like, and I will when I'm
Right.
ready. But right now I'm gonna do all that I can do to make sure I'm setting myself up for success
Yeah.
when I finally get to the point of, you know, addressing that issue or addressing that
Mm-hmm.
situation. So yeah, it's like a person going to therapy, they have to do it for them and they got to be ready for them. It can't be for nobody else. And like you said, it's really selfish for people to feel like they can tell somebody, well, you need to go to therapy so this can help us. No, they need to go to therapy
Yeah.
so that it can help them.
Yeah. Like
And
you're
it's a lot
entitled
of
to those
people like that.
results.
Yes, because
Yeah.
the thing about it is sometimes those
It's hard.
results from therapy, it's going to cut you off
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because people realize that you might be the issue.
Yeah.
So it's like nah, therapy should be 100% selfish. You should be selfish with yourself in therapy because that's the best time to just let it all out. Nobody else is the center except you. So, yeah, like I said, going through therapy for my own personal journey has definitely helped me through this situation right here and understanding that I'll go to therapy when I'm ready to go to therapy and when I'm in a position to receive the work that I'm going to have to do on a professional side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So,
so happy I
Mm-hmm.
got smart friends.
he's so damn silly.
Got friends that's been through some shit, man. The
Shit.
school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like whenever you feel that, I'll say this now. What's true is whenever you feel that inclination to do better for yourself, like kind of like in your spirit, if you're into that, go ahead and take heed to that. Because what's really, really powerful is how you address that without you realizing it, you were preparing yourself for everything that you were going to go through.
Oh my
And
God. Yeah.
I heard that again when Kevin Hart got into his accident, that really bad accident that he had in like
Mm-hmm.
that muscle car.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to one of the interviews that he did right afterwards, and he talked about how all of the doctors and everybody who was working on him, they were like 1,000% sure that had he not been on the fitness journey that he was on, that
Mm-hmm.
accident would have crushed him.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that would have put his spine in a place of misalignment and all
Wow.
kinds of crazy stuff. So everything that he was doing to look good or just be healthy or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, ended up being what he needed to kind of insulate and cushion himself for something that
Man.
he didn't even know was coming.
Powerful. Powerful. Because you just kind of made me think about like a part of me sharing my journey is sharing the shame and the insecurities I had in my own body or whatnot.
Yeah.
And after that guy tried to violate me, it was like I carry so much shame in my body. And that's why Monday and Tuesday I posted those pictures on social media
Yeah.
because I had to, if I wouldn't have been doing this work in addressing like my own insecurities and being comfortable with my body, like after that happened, I felt like I felt so much shame associated to my body because it's like, what made you want to do this to me? Like, what made you want to do that or whatever?
Yeah.
And the first thing, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that started to make me feel better is accepting myself and telling myself, like, your body ain't got shit to do with a dumbass. Ain't got
No,
shit
Don't.
to do with a dumbass.
absolutely not. He was gonna
Like,
do that
he
regardless.
was gonna do it regardless. Exactly. And it was just like, I had to really like just look at myself in the mirror, sometimes naked, and tell myself, like, yo, it's okay. You didn't cause that on yourself. You can't help the parts of your body that are more glorified or less glorified. You can't help those things. Accept you for who you are and disattach dumbassness from your body. Like,
Yeah,
don't put that on you. People
people
gonna
gonna
do
move how
things.
they move regardless.
Exactly. But if
Yeah.
I would have never started working, if I would have never started doing that work within myself months ago, this shit would have destroyed me. If I would
Mm-hmm.
have never like accepted my whole self for who I am inside and out months ago, it would have fucking destroyed me. So you're right. Like some people like, oh no, I'm just feeling uneasy. I don't know what it is. I just got this uneasy feeling. Be still and listen because that's the universe,
Mm-hmm.
that's God, that's whoever your higher power is telling you, yo, you might got some stuff you need to work on right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the next level for you. If you just stay still and listen, it's gonna take you to the next level. So you're
Mm.
right. Take heed to elevation. You're gonna feel when it's time to elevate. And either you're gonna get stuck or you're gonna elevate.
Yeah.
So
Because life only
period.
get harder from here, unfortunately.
Period.
That's just the reality of it. That's
That's
just
just the
Yeah.
reality of it.
It don't stop.
it
Nope.
keeps going.
We carry all the
Um,
tools within us to make it through though.
we do. We do. And
Yeah.
part of having tools is sharpening them.
Period.
Um,
Yes.
and even though we've seen a lot of advancement in recognition or recognizing of the black woman, of women in general, and the positions that they're appointed to, uh, what are some things that you still like to see coming to fruition when it comes to the perception of women, the value of women? What are some things that are still missing inside the military, outside the military?
I felt like um I guess for me with this situation, I didn't realize how like overly sexualized we are still. I mean,
Yeah.
this situation just kind of like made me realize just how people still, look at us like pieces of meat. It's like
Mm-hmm.
from the first time I got to my hotel room, it's like at Lackland, I felt like a piece of meat. And it
Yeah.
wasn't, it was a lot of foreign like military guys, but they looked
Mm-hmm.
at us like pieces of meat. And it just showed me how overly sexualized black women are,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and women in general in America. Like it just shows like, and it's due to a lot of reasons, but it shouldn't be like that, you know? So it's like I really hope that that perception of black women can go away. Like it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what kind of music you listening to. It doesn't matter. I feel like all of that shit shouldn't matter when it comes to anything, because I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't doing none of that. I ain't having no music. I ain't having no nothing. And I
Yeah.
still was like
Yeah.
sexualized. And it's just like it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. We are sexualized and it sucks. It sucks
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like I really hope that people can just understand, like, bruh, we have to like tone that down. Like we have to
Mm-hmm.
tone that down in some type of way. I don't know how, but like that happened and just showed me,
We
like,
got
bruh,
work to
that
do.
shit is bad. Yeah, we got work to do. Like I said,
It's internalized program. It just motherfuckers just think that way, like off rip.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
by we, I mean men. And I am
Oh yeah,
saying misogyny.
misogyny.
I hate to be placing the blame on anybody, but I
We'll
mean,
I
do it.
take
Don't
it
worry.
for
I don't
I
care.
take it.
I'm all about accountability. That I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it is.
yeah,
Patriarchy,
It,
misogyny, it's got to get
it
out
ain't.
of here.
It's nothing that women do to actively play a role in the treatment that y'all are subjected to by men. It's
Yeah.
a fact
It's
of the
just
matter.
it's
Now,
not
and even going a step further, even the women who do play into those roles, that was taught to them by a man. So
yeah,
again, you can't put any of the blame on the person who's being victimized.
yeah. And that's
for
real.
sure.
That's true. So
We got
that's
one
what I
more,
would like to
man.
see work.
For sure. We got one more before we get into some fun stuff, and then we're gonna call
Hmm.
this a day. This has already been a
Oh man,
far more powerful conversation than I could have
Yeah, I,
wildly
I was
anticipated.
not prepared.
I
Yeah,
wasn't either, y'all. I wasn't
far
prepared.
more powerful.
I just laughed.
Yeah,
We
you
gonna
touch.
get there.
It's
But we
okay, man. It's gonna help somebody.
exactly,
It's
Yeah.
gonna
exactly.
help
That's
somebody.
right. That's
You touched on it a little bit.
right. Hmm.
Speaking directly to Gotti and myself and every other man in the world, other than over sexualization, what can we do better for you? What can men do better for women uh, in this time right now, precious time?
Um, I guess have a little bit more empathy. You
Yeah,
know, it's certain things we deal with. With our hormones. Sometimes we don't know either. But it's just
yeah,
like having that empathy and understanding. Like, look, girl, I know you don't know either, but I'm here
yeah,
with you. You need to
Hmm.
talk. Come on, let's talk. You need some candy. What's up? What's up? Like,
Yeah.
what can I do for you today? What can I do for you today? So
yeah,
I don't know, like just having that empathy, like that'd be nice. I'm not saying like every man don't give it or whatever, because there's a lot of men that's out there doing amazing, doing amazing
Absolutely.
things and doing showing amazing support. But having empathy goes a long way.
for
So
sure.
Gotcha.
No, we appreciate you. Like I said, now we in the fun stuff. Now we should laugh a little bit, man. It's like we got a couple of fun questions that we're gonna get you up out of here, man. Um, gonna start with I'm a big movie buff, so I gotta know top 5 movies. Holla at me.
top 5 movies. Um, right now or just in general?
We'll go in general.
Yeah, yeah. However
Okay.
you want to break it up.
In general, um, I don't
Before you
know.
start,
Okay.
I do judge people.
I
So
know
before
y'all
you
do.
start,
I know y'all do. I know y'all do. Okay, so I don't care how you feel about it, but it is who it is. If I'm feeling sad or something, I'm gonna look at Dirty Dancing because nobody put Baby in a corner, baby. So period. Dirty Dancing is one of them. That's like my go-to movie. I like um I like the Bad Boy series, of course. I not too much the new one, but whatever the old school stuff. I like anything with Chris Tucker because he's funny as hell in everything. I don't know.
okay, okay,
So I mean, I'm not. I'm more comedy type lightheartedness. I don't
yeah,
know. Blade is the number one. That's always gonna be one. Period.
Blade special.
I watched Blade like last week. That shit is
Exactly.
fire.
Like Blade, The Matrix, always. So I think that's like 5 right there. I like funny stuff, lighthearted stuff, but the classic, like Blade, The Matrix, I just feel like that's just it's nothing can compare to those movies.
Top notch cinema.
Yeah. So you can judge me all you want,
You had a
but
great list though for the
Yeah,
most
no,
part.
I
I
don't
don't know
have
what
much
Dirty
to say.
Dancing is, but
Yeah, never seen that.
y'all ain't never
never
seen
seen
Dirty
that.
Dancing?
I'm
Nah. Is
close.
it a musical?
Bruh, oh my god,
I don't
bruh,
do musicals, I ain't gonna lie.
bruh,
And
no. I
before
mean, they
before
be
Henry out me,
dancing and
I've
stuff.
never seen Bad Boys.
Oh man.
Yeah, Gotti sucks. I have to ask this question just so people can share their enthusiasm and he realizes how much life he misses out on.
Man.
Yeah, he's
I'm usually
terrible.
the
I
person
can't talk about
who
movies with
don't
him at
even
all.
remember movies. I don't care for it like that. But you messed up. You ain't never. Damn.
Tell him again.
I
I
will be judged. That's okay.
yeah. Wow. That's all right. Go ahead and watch Bad Boys. We need to do a movie date or something over FaceTime because your ass
Man,
watch Bad Boys or something.
I feel like it's too late at this point. I
It
feel
ain't
like
too
He'd
late.
appreciate our relation.
You
He'd
ain't
appreciate our friendship so much more if he watched the damn movie.
if you watch it. And the thing about it is, you ain't even got kids yet. Before you bring some children into this world, you gotta watch
sure.
Bad Boys.
Not the cheer.
That's a classic. Cause guess what, Dominic? He be sitting there watching the movies with me. We gonna watch The Matrix and Blade. We gonna watch that stuff.
Right.
Okay?
You're right.
Like you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it for the culture. That's it.
I might spin it up tonight. I'll pick one.
Okay, man.
I like
All
that.
right.
Best place you've ever traveled.
um, best place I have ever traveled. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been a whole bunch of places, but out of the few places I've been, um, I don't know. I really enjoyed just being on a boat in the water. So my cruise, like we was
Right.
just traveling from
Hey,
Miami to Key West to Mexico. Like that was awesome. It was beautiful. The water, like, oh man, it was nice. It was real nice. I was
that
seasick
surely
like a
counts.
motherfucker, but it was real
Yeah.
nice. That's how you know you enjoy something when you sick and you still like it. So
Yeah.
I was still out there looking at the water, taking in that
Yeah,
breeze.
no, that counts. That counts.
So, yeah,
Morning or night person?
night, night.
Night. Yeah,
Yeah,
mornings are overrated.
yeah. I'm a night owl. I can stay up all night.
I feel
Like
like I
I
do okay in the morning.
I can't stand waking up early.
I can imagine your happy ass getting out of bed. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Maybe some food. Like,
I don't know if it's like that, but I'm like
Especially when you gotta
it
jump
don't
out
take
the bed.
yeah.
He wakes up every morning like a little leprechaun. I hate
That
mornings.
was very disrespectful and uncalled for, I should say. And I don't know how we got here. Or is this payback for me
we
calling it the
love
Pissy Boy
we,
Club? Is that what that was?
oh shit, yeah, you did him dirty.
I
You
mean,
did him
no,
dirty. You
it's
came
just something
out
about
of the
her.
mood with it too.
It's something about her talking about how happy you wake up in the morning that made me think about you swinging your legs off the side of the bed and they're not touching the
Oh
floor and
my
you just kicking them home.
goodness.
It's
Oh
really
my
funny because
gosh.
if I do sit at the edge of the bed, I do have to kick my feet.
See what I'm saying?
It is a very tall bed.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Y'all are so damn silly. That is fucking hilarious. That shit is funny. Y'all are so
Wow.
fucking silly. Now I
That's
can't get
Let-
that image out of my
See,
head.
well, don't worry, I'm gonna get the heat off me. What would you do if you weren't in the military?
Oh, what would I do if I wasn't in the military? I really feel like if I wasn't in the military, I would probably be like a little hippie chick or something. Like into my holistic healing, meditation, like I don't know. I feel like the body is powerful, so I would find a way to relate that to some type of um I don't know. I feel like I would be some type of masseuse dealing with the body, healing the body, but holistically.
I mean, it's a
Um
space for that in the world now, so
it
it's some
it
money out there for you.
it really is. I do feel like if I was in the military, my life would have went down that path for sure. Because I feel like when we heal our minds, like we can heal our body, and then everything else will fall into place. So I
Or
think that's
For
what I would do.
sure.
Yeah.
5 people you like to go to dinner with.
5 people I like to go to dinner with.
anybody.
Chris Tucker, right? We gonna put Chris Tucker on the list because he's so damn funny.
No,
That
that
one.
motherfucker. No, he funny in movies. I don't want to see his ass in real life. 5 people I would like to go to dinner with. Jeez. Okay. So, damn. I'm blank. I don't know why. Okay, 5 people. Dang.
We'll go 3. How about 3? 3 people you gotta eat dinner with.
3 people I have to eat dinner with. You know what? I really wouldn't mind going to dinner with Drake. That's a smooth ass motherfucker. Like,
I like
Hey,
that.
I'm not mad.
like,
That's the point.
I
like,
go out to eat with
bro,
Aubrey too.
Drake ass. He like the fuckboy of the century, but he's so glorified for it. And I'd be like, how you do that, bro? That's smooth as hell. That
Hey,
is
look,
so. You know
I
what I'm
dip it. I dip in that bag quite often.
saying, bro? Oh my goodness. It's so funny because I used to have this conversation with my son dad, and I was like, bro, y'all motherfuckers want to be like Drake so bad. But not y'all, like everybody. But that was just a running joke for us. Like it was funny. But so okay, Drake, I got Drake down. I wouldn't mind going to dinner with what is that one musician? I think his name is Anderson Paak or something like that.
Anderson
Yeah,
Paak.
Anderson Paak.
Him?
He just dropped a song with Bruno yesterday.
Yeah, he got so much damn energy. I feel like that will be a good ass time, like a good ass dinner. We'll be laughing the whole time. You know, I'll be doing a little riffs with him and whatnot.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll be going to dinner with him. And I really would like to go to dinner with Michelle Obama. I want to talk to her. I
Yes,
just
Queen,
sir.
want to
Yes,
talk.
ma'am.
the
I want
queen.
to know what's up. Like, how did? Yeah, that's an interesting conversation I would have with her. Like, yeah, that dinner would be. Yeah, we'll be talking about a lot. So, yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
but yeah, that's it. That's me.
So then, last one. Who are some women in our culture that you're paying attention to right now? So we got Michelle Obama. She's on the list.
Yeah. Actually, this is like I said. I've been on my healing journey or whatever, and she might not be impactful on like a national scale or nothing, but this author Alexander L, I believe that's her name. I always say her name wrong, but I believe it's Alexander L. Like she is so powerful. Like her journey, her book, her podcast, her inspiration. Like to me, she's super powerful. I pay attention to her. Like I heard her on a podcast. I went from hearing her on a podcast to reading her book. I don't, bruh. Don't judge me. I don't even like to read like that because everything just ain't interesting.
Oh, I
That's just
look,
it
Henry.
ain't.
No, don't tell me
There
to
you
read
go.
nothing.
Yeah. So,
I'm not gonna do it.
but when I find a book that's good and like that sits with me and it's gonna help me in my life, like for real, um, that she like I said, I heard her on a podcast and just her words made me want to read her book. She wasn't even promoting a book. Like I wanted to read her book. And then
Yeah.
from there, I had to follow her on social media. Then I had to listen to her podcast, and it's like it's just yeah, yeah. She doing wonders for me right now. I pay
Well,
attention to her,
I feel you that people's words make you want to read their book. Because the last book that I did read in its entirety was Gucci Mane biography,
bruh.
his autobiography. That's the last book that I read.
And it was,
And
you know what, bruh? I bet that shit.
that
You
shit
know
was
what?
fire.
You
It
know
was
what?
so
I
much shit.
might
He
have
was
to look
talking
into
about all this shit that was going on while I'm listening to the music, and I can put two and two together. I'm like, that shit make a lot of sense. Gucci, you was high. That's why you
the
was
story.
acting like that.
Telling the story. So,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, that was real ratchet of us. First
It
of
got
all,
them. Well,
that
no,
was real
I am. I am who I am. It got to
ratchet.
move me. All right.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. He an interesting person.
It
So
got to move me.
he is. He is.
he
Nah,
te-
I
he
mean,
teaching out that too in his own little way.
oh, for sure. You can learn from anybody.
Shout out
But
Guwap.
man, this conversation has to come to an end, at least for the part that everybody's gonna hear. So this has been another incredibly insightful, incredibly enlightening, different than the usual conversation on the Open Ranks podcast. As always, subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast. Give us a 3, 4, 5 star rating. This one's definitely a 5 star. Shout out to Gucci. If you're enjoying it, follow us on
Gucci, listen.
IG. We will soon be on YouTube. Actually, we are already on YouTube. I don't even know why I keep saying that. But as always, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.